This time on Baldur's Gate, we're going to start with creating a character. Probably go through that a little bit, trying to explain what things I recall. We'll start into the game. Now I should mention, this is now the Enhanced Edition. I don't know what they may have changed, other than I think the graphics are upgraded and things like that. But it has been a very long time since I played this game, so bear with me. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of things that I'm not doing correctly. But feel free to drop a comment if there's things that you notice that I'm missing. I'm not too proud to say I really don't know what I'm doing. So, let's pre-generate our character. So the gender, as in all Dungeons & Dragons, doesn't really have anything to that affects your character, so to speak. It's more RP level stuff. So, just because I have a hard time not being a male in games, I'm just going to stick with male. We get to pick our lovely character. I'm trying to remember, I think maybe you can't import the appearance. I thought you could. Anyway, I'm going to go with the person who looks the craziest, which is probably going to be that guy. One sec. Sorry about that. There's noise outside. Alright. So, I guess I can quickly go through some of these. If you're unfamiliar, you're kind of standard fantasy races. Humans, which are kind of relative, all-around good characters. Nothing really fancy about them. I think they get more skills or something like that. Humans may not multi-class, so that one's a pretty big one. You got your elves, they have infravision. Thaco is, I guess it's your armor class. Think of it that way, except I believe it's the invert of the armor class. Something. Anyway. Yeah. Moving along. Resistance, charm, sleep magics, that sort of thing. Half-elves, humans and elves mating. I guess they're good for pickpockets and things like that. Gnomes tend to be more intelligent, so they're good mages, I think? Yeah, I think mages. And deep gnomes are Sfurneblin, Snurflineblin. I don't know, there's probably some silent consonants in there, but I don't know which word it is. Kinda dwarfs! That was horrible. Anyway, halflings. I'll let you read this if you so choose. Dwarves. Standard dwarf fare, strong. Not very pretty. And then half-orcs. It's unfortunate you can't pick an actual orc, but that's what you get. So, I know that I want to be a multi-class fighter and thief. Just because I played a little bit, probably about 10 minutes or so of this just a little while ago. So I know some things to expect with the character I'm going to make, so I think I might need this. So, one second, I'm just going to experiment a bit. Okay, and we're back. So, I just did a little bit of findangling to just make sure that the class that I wanted to do was available, because I didn't want to... I probably could have showed you. It took me all of 5 seconds. So, we're going to pick the Dwarven class. Race, but not a class. Yes, dwarves. So, dwarves are short and stocky, easily identifiable by their size and shape. They have ruddy cheeks, dark eyes, and dark hair. Dwarves tend to be dour and taciturn. Sorry. They are given to hard work and care little for most humor. They enjoy beer, ale, mead, but most of all, they love gold. That being said, I'm drinking some ale right now, so cheers to any dwarves listening in the crowd. Or other ale fans. There are 4 racial divisions of dwarves within the realms: shield dwarves, gold dwarves, wild dwarves, and Druger. Dwarves have the following traits, blah 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 blah. Infravision, that's what we kind of care about, and these open locks. So, moving along. He doesn't really look like a dwarf. That's okay. If I'm able to adjust and import another image, I'll try and track one down and do that. So, we're going multi-class, we're going fighter thief. So this character can use the abilities of a fighter and a thief, though they cannot use their thieving skills while wearing more than studded leather armor. They may specialize, but not master, any weapon they can use. So that's what we're going to go for. Alignment. Now, I asked a good friend of mine what alignment I should choose, and he pleasantly chose the most difficult one, which is chaotic neutral. So I'll read the little blurb here. Excuse me, sorry about that. Chaotic neutral characters believe there's no order to anything, including their own actions. With this as a guiding principle, they tend to follow whatever whim strikes them at the moment. Good and evil are irrelevant when making decisions. Chaotic neutral characters are extremely difficult to deal with. Such characters have been known to cheerfully, and for no apparent purpose, gamble away everything they have on a roll of a single die. They are almost totally unreliable. In fact, the only reliable thing about them is that they cannot be relied upon. This alignment is perhaps the most difficult to play. See, they even say it. Sorry. Lunatics and madmen tend toward chaotic neutral behavior. Okay. Maybe that's a little slight towards me. Or a compliment, depending on your perspective. Abilities. So, one of the fancy-dancy character creation methods that they kind of borrowed from actual Dungeons & Dragons is the concept of the roll. So if you're unfamiliar, using a D6, which is a 6-sided die, just another name for it, you roll for each of these individual skills or abilities. Then you add them all up, and that becomes what you get. Now, so the maximum is 18 that you can roll in a single roll of the die. So, if you re-roll, you can see that this total shifts as these numbers get filled in. Now, it's not like other games where you just start with whatever you start with. So this kind of adds a little bit of, random chance. But you can also kind of you can be like, I don't want that much dexterity, I want to put that into strength. So you can shift things around still. But anyway, I want to re-roll until I have a decent amount. So I'm going to do that off camera. I'll come back. Oh, and if you're playing along, this store button, what it does. So let's say you're rolling and you get 84. And you're like, okay, that's pretty good, but I want to see if I can do better. But you don't want to just lose that 84. You can store that 84 so that if you re-roll and you're like, ooh, that's worse, you can recall and get that 84 back. So, with that being said, I'll be back when I have some numbers that I'm happy with. And we're back. So, almost immediately after cutting the video, I was able to roll this 87. So, 87 sounds pretty good to me. That's pretty high. So now we're just going to kind of adjust things a little bit so that we kind of have the stats that we want. Now, because he's a dwarf, I don't really care if he has awesome charisma or wisdom or intelligence. However, I guess we can only go so high. No more dexterity than that. Constitution. Oh, okay. We can make him somewhat charismatic. I don't think that's really going to do much for us, though. But are all the other stats as high as they'll go? Yeah. And it's no, yeah, okay. There we go, split them evenly. So, stats we care about, stats we do not care about. Alright, skills. Open lock sounds pretty good. Find traps, I'm less concerned about finding traps, because he's also a bit of a tank, so if he does get hit, I'm okay with that. Hiding in shadows. Oh wow, do I only get skills for... Alright, well... Pickpocket, I think we should have up higher. Detect illusion seems weak. I don't even... Again, I haven't actually played the this game, so I'm not even sure how a thief goes. I'm not even normally a thief character in any RPG. You can ask around. If anybody has played games with me, they know I usually go with like a gnome warrior or something ridiculous, and then never really go farther than that. So this is a bit of a stretch for me, so there you go. No. Open locks. Open locks I could see coming in very handy. But I also want good pickpocketing. Alright. I guess I'll balance these out a bit more. There we go. Sounds good. Let's hope that does us well. Alright, proficiency slots. What's the two-weapon style here? This fighting style allows the character to use two melee weapons at the same time, with fewer penalties. A character wielding two weapons without a slot in the fighting style would incur a -4 penalty to attack rolls with a main weapon, and a -8 with the offhand. I always find myself liking single weapon style. Not sure. We'll put one in there. Let's use the short bow. I like the idea of using a short bow. And then we'll put the two into longsword. Just because a lot of, at least as I recall, a lot of the magical weapons and whatnot tend to be longsword. So I have longsword, short bow, single weapon style. Sounds pretty good to me. Yeah, that's not bad. There we go. Green. Oh wait, his hair's kind of brownish. Sure. Sorry, bear with me here. Good enough. There you go. Ooh, we get to pick his voice.
Death to you all! Your life ends here.
No, that's definitely not him.
Time for a bit of the rough and tumble.
You got this coming!
That's pretty...
Nobody else is gonna step up, why not?
If nobody else is going to step up, why not? I like that.
Let's give them a right thrashing.
Get over here!
No.
You got this coming!
That's our guy right there. And of course... caps lock was on. There we go. Alright. Biography. Inspired by your foster father's knowledge of the magical arts, you have made especially productive use of your library home. That does not sound accurate at all. I have no knowledge of anything magical. Done. I don't know if anybody wants me to read that. Maybe later. I think you can see it in game. Alright. So I believe we can now export. There we go. Jorak, I don't know. We're gonna call this Jorak 2. Jorak LP. There we go. How's that? Alright. One moment. Okay, so just taking a look at how much time was spent. We're probably going to call this a video. So next time on Baldur's Gate, we're going to start into the game. And we'll take it from there. Stay tuned.